All right, guys, so I know you've heard the proverb, birds of a feather fly together. We've got eagles soaring with eagles, and then we've got pigeons that are flying with, wait a minute, do pigeons even fly? Like, I really have, no, they just fight over breadcrumbs and stuff in parks, right? They do like really grimy, shisty things, to be honest. So, yeah, pigeons are about that pigeon life. With that being said, who you hang around influences you in so many ways, but not just that, what you surround yourself with also influences you. So, today we're talking about how your house can either make you or break you. And I want to give you three principles that you should keep top of mind as you deal with your messy house and you try to, take those steps that you need to do to turn your life around. So, in your house. So, with that being said, if this is your first time here, I'm Victoria Alexander. This is the Clean Care, and I help people dealing with mess, clutter, and chaos get all that under control once and for all. So, I definitely invite you to subscribe and like this video, especially if you're hearing anything that you do like. And this should be a pretty quick video. So it's just three principles for you to keep top of mind, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into the three, starting with number one, your environment influences your identity, right? And let's just make sure we're clear. Your identity is how you see yourself, okay? And how you want to be seen in the world. So when you wake up to a mess and you go to sleep on a mess, obviously you're feeling like a mess. So that's messing with your identity right there off the bat. This not only influences your identity, though, it's influencing your health, from your mental health to your physical health, your mood, all that good stuff. And there's no way that you can go out into the world and win if at home you feel like you're losing. Okay. So, again, your environment influences your identity. Now, number two, your environment confirms your identity. So, think of it this way. The place where you moved into after college, right, or maybe your first home or something like that, it may not, it may have been good at that point in time, right? It was very exciting. It represented who you were at that particular point. But let's say 10 years later, you've got a family, you've got this career, this business, or whatever it is that you do. And that house, it doesn't fit where you are right now, right? Like, even if it's not about space, just the actual house itself, it was more so representative of that particular identity. But where you are now, you're serious. You've got kids, you've got responsibilities, you've got sod that needs to be laid, that you're in a whole new season of life. And so you want the house that you're in to reflect not just where you are right now, but where you're going. So that just speaks to the fact that, again, what worked back then or what worked for one season, one identity, may not work for this new current identity, this new place that you're in. And so a bonus, not even a bonus, but just something I want you to keep top of mind within this aspect is that when you have friction, when you're somewhere or within an environment, that's your inner guidance system letting you know this is not for you, right? This does not line up with who you are right now. So it's kind of like if you try to take me to a La Quinta Inn or something, like, my alarm bells are going off like crazy, right? That is not for me. Whereas there's this hotel in Hawaii that I found. It was called The Modern, and it was amazing, right? It was the kind of place where I just knew George Clooney and Brad Pitt were in there somewhere, at the Margarita Bar. I don't know where George Clooney would have been actually. Maybe up at the pool, the hot pool. Is there a spa? Yeah, something like that. No, a jacuzzi. There we go. But anyway, he would have been over there, and I would have been there too. So I say all that to say, when I went to this particular hotel, though, it was like, oh yeah, that is me, right? And that's what you want when you walk into your home, to be proud of what you see, to have some sort of agreement, confirmation. Boom, I like what I see. This is reflecting the best parts of me. I can get down with this right here. As opposed to, again, if you walk into somewhere, if you're walking into home, there's mess everywhere, clutter everywhere, and you're like, what is this, right? And I know you're overwhelmed, but you also, it's really important that you realize it's not you, okay? The environment you're in is not you anymore. And the reason you have an issue with it is because it's time for it to go, all right? So now let's move on to our last principle here, which is that your space can either elevate you or absolutely wreck you. So by that, I mean that your space should be looked at as a strategy, right? And whether you're intentional about it or not, it's still going to influence you. So you should, because you can influence the impact that it has on you, do be intentional about what's in your home. Do be intentional about how you set it up, right? So something for me that has always been top of mind with this one is that my dad needed to go on like a strict diet. My mom does all the grocery shopping. She would literally always complain about him eating, the crackers, the sodas, the oatmeal pies, all this stuff that baby boomers eat. So, with that being said, she was the one buying the food. He would go into the cabinets eating it. I mean, just going to town, right? And she would just be going off on him like a dog, not like to his face, right? But I mean, like maybe just venting. But, she'd be like, oh, he's undisciplined. He doesn't have any willpower. He needs to let go of his sinful nature. He has no self control. He needs to go fast. He needs some prayer. He needs holy oil, just all this stuff, right? And I mean, she literally would be disgusted with him at the fact that he would be eating all of this, knowing that he didn't need to be eating it, right? And I would kind of be like standing there, like, um, not to, state the obvious, but you do know you didn't have to buy any of this, right? Like, you could have just not bought it. Like, no, we can't do that. And no, for her, like, you need to prove that you can resist the temptation, right? And it's like, wow, I am so glad I don't live here. Because, it's like sometimes you just have to look at what it is that you're really trying to do, right? What are you really trying to prove here? Because again, the success that you're looking for could be as simple as just not bringing it into your environment, right? So I know for me, hey, I have no self-control, I guess. So I'm just not buying Oreos. It's easier for me to eat zero than one because if I bring that pack in, it's gone. Like I'm crushing that pack of Oreos and I'm going to feel terrible about it. I'm not even going to want to eat the Oreos, like 5 Oreos into the pack, right? But I'm not going to stop myself because I can't. I have no self control. Pray for me. But I say all that to say again, it's easier to eat zero than it is to eat one. All right. And sometimes we're making things about willpower and being disciplined and all these things, and it just doesn't work. All right. So set up your environment to help you be the person that you want to be. Things that also fall in line with this are as simple as making sure cleaning supplies are in the areas that you want to clean, or even making sure that your life isn't overstuffed to the point where you can't manage it, right? So I know we talk about having too much clutter, but clutter can also be relationships, people that are draining you. You could have too many projects going on at once. You could have too many pets, all sorts of things, right? All these things could be keeping you from being able to take care of the priorities, which is, of course, yourself, your family, and your house. That's a huge part of your health, your well-being, your quality of life. So those are the 3 principles. And at the end of the day, again, I really, really just want you to remember that, like I said, your space can either elevate you or absolutely wreck you, okay? If you're being wrecked by your house right now, guys, and you have that friction inside of you, don't be afraid to grab some boxes as if you're moving, pack up stuff, clear off surfaces, and, take out things as you need it. And after 30 days, throw it away because that could literally be what's standing between you and the future and the identity and the person that you want to be. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Couldn't find my mouse. Yeah. Bye.